everyone, happy day 298. Even though I had the opportunity to go to church this morning because we are home from camp, I decided to let the boys sleep in, Logan especially. Since becoming a teenager, I have noticed he has started to sleep in later in the mornings, but for the past few days he hasn't been able to. I thought since he was so great yesterday about getting up early and doing his community service, it would be a nice reward. While the boys were still sleeping, I started to clean my house. And clean, and then clean some more. I cleaned bathrooms, the kitchen, washed floors, purged closets, and did laundry. What started out as wiping down surfaces turned into a trip to Goodwill. I have no idea why I felt that I needed to do that this morning, but it sure feels good now that it's all done. After every inch of my house was spotless, I drove to Goodwill, dropped off my unwanted items, took a quick peek at TJ Maxx, and then went to the grocery store. I finally made it home around 3 o'clock. Once the groceries were put away, I made myself an afternoon cup of coffee, sat at my very clean dining room table, read the daily readings, and wrote while listening to a thunderstorm that had swept through. It was a relaxing way to unwind after my day of tidying up. In the gospel today, we hear the disciples ask Jesus, "Why do you speak to the crowds in parables?" If I were one of the disciples, I bet I would have had the same question. I'm sure it was getting kind of frustrating to them to keep hearing these simple stories Jesus was using to illustrate his teachings. Since the disciples already knew he was the Christ, I bet they couldn't understand why he wasn't just simply telling the crowds point blank instead of confusing them. Jesus then explains to them, because knowledge of the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven had been granted to you, but not to them. It has not been granted. They look but do not see, and hear but do not listen or understand. Have you ever gotten in a disagreement with someone over your faith? I sure have. It was right before Easter, and I was coming close to the end of RCIA. I was at work, and one of my regular hair clients came into the shop. She is someone that makes it very clear that she does not believe in any kind of organized religion and especially dislikes the Catholic Church. While I was in the middle of applying her color, she asked me, "What I want to know is, how can you feel comfortable joining a religion that pretty much says it's okay to molest little boys?" Words cannot express how not prepared I was for that blunt, offensive, ignorant question. At that moment, so many things ran through my mind. I thought about yelling at her and telling her how stupid she was. I thought about running into the back room and never coming back out. I even thought about telling her and her half-colored head to leave right then and there. But instead of trying to get her to hear the truth, I simply asked her, "Do you hate teachers? Do you hate coaches? Do you hate people?" She quickly replied, "No, of course not." I then asked her why she hated priests. She told me, because they are bad people that molest children. I then told her, so do some teachers, so do some coaches, so do some people. If your reasoning for hating all priests is because of some bad priests, then you should hate everyone because of some bad people. I will never forget her face. She looked confused but curious. For the rest of her appointment that day, we kept it light, and she never again asked me about my faith. Sometimes simple words are all a person who does not listen or understand can hear. I hope all of you out there have a blessed day 298. Please know that I am praying for you always, and I will see you tomorrow.